to attention for hours during the next day's Trooping the Color parade. "Glad it's not going to be you on that parade square?" Knight asked, reading his friend's thoughts. "I'm happier taking in the view and having this in my hand." Morgan smiled, holding up his drink. "I'd be happier still if we were here to secure these events rather than watching from the sidelines." Private had been among a raft of security providers who'd bid for the lucrative contracts to oversee the major events for the Queen's 90th birthday celebrations. To Morgan's displeasure and Knight's embarrassment, Private had not landed a single one. "It's not on you, Peter," Morgan told his friend, seeing the slightest of slumps in the Englishman's shoulders. "This is the old boys' club, and the right school or regiment means more sometimes than service and price." Knight nodded his understanding. As a former special investigator to the Old Bailey, he had seen firsthand how Britain's aristocratic class system could still hold sway. "That's all well and good, Jack, but I don't want people to get hurt because we didn't know a secret handshake." "Well, we're here," Morgan declared brightly, "so let's enjoy the champagne." "Cheers," Knight offered as the men touched glasses. "Enjoying the drinks, gentlemen?" they were asked in the nasal tone of the British gentry. "Colonel de Villiers," Morgan greeted the Coldstream Guards officer. At 6'3", Colonel Marcus de Villiers, head of security for the royal family's inner circle, made for an imposing man. He was also the reason why Private had no hand in the security for the Queen's birthday events. "I'm surprised to see you here, Mr. Morgan." The colonel's words were neutral, but his eyes betrayed his irritation. "We were invited," Knight answered for them. "Oh." Morgan smiled, imagining how the colonel would be kicking himself inwardly for not having scrutinized the guest list more closely. A proud man with little time for cocky Americans, de Villiers sneered as he looked at the men's champagne flutes. "I imagine you made full use of the hospitality provided at the Olympic Games also? Little wonder that Cronus and his furies did such damage." The colonel was referring to the bloodthirsty murderers who had run amok during the 2012 London Olympics, before finally being brought down by the two men who held their tongues, refusing to take the bait. "I suppose you did catch him at the closing ceremony, at least," de Villiers shrugged. "Peter did, yes, Colonel," Morgan replied. "He put his life at risk to save others." He eyed the thin row of medals on the colonel's chest and saw none that would signify combat. "As a military man, I'm sure you would understand all about courage and sacrifice." De Villiers was stung by the sarcasm. "Private investigators should stick to photographing unfaithful spouses, Mr. Morgan. Good evening." The colonel turned on his heel, and Knight couldn't help but smirk. "Sounds like someone's made use of that service," he said. Morgan laughed and ran a hand through his hair to clear himself of the irritation de Villiers had caused him. As he did so, the American locked eyes with the most beautiful woman present amongst the crowd of cocktail dresses and uniforms, and she came straight for him.